Thanks for watching. I'm Margot Kinberg, and this is In the Spotlight, a closer look at a crime novel. There are all sorts of different speculative fiction novel types out there. Some is dystopian, some is science fiction, some is fantasy, and there are other types as well. Let's take a closer look today at a rather dystopian example of speculative fiction and turn the spotlight on Matthew FitzSimmons' Constance. It's 2038, and 22-year-old Constance Darcy is a talented musician who was part of an up-and-coming rock band until the band was involved in a terrible accident that left two of its members dead and the third in a coma. In the America Con lives in, cloning has become a reality for those who are wealthy. Con isn't, but her late aunt founded and ran a cloning facility and gifted Con a clone. After the accident, Con decided to take advantage of the gift. One day, Con goes to the cloning facility for a regularly scheduled upload of her consciousness, which is stored against the day it's going to be needed. When she wakes, though, 18 months have gone by instead of the few hours she's used to. What's more, she discovers that she is now the clone, and that can only mean that her original self has died. Con is determined to find out how and why her original died and what has happened in the intervening months. The more she tries to look for answers, though, the more she realizes that she can't trust anyone. The cloning facility isn't much help. Con soon finds out that there are warring agendas and powerful people who want to use her as a pawn. People she thought she knew are no longer her friends. Even the police aren't much help because Con is a clone. More about that bias a little bit later. It doesn't help matters that the closer Con gets to the truth, the clearer it is that someone wants to kill her. Again. Still, Con persists, and as she slowly unravels what happened, we learn the truth. So what are the elements in this novel? What holds it together? Well, it is billed as dystopian, and there are aspects of that here. Clones are available, but only to the very rich, so we see a gulf between the haves and the have-nots in the novel. People resent anyone who's wealthy enough to afford a clone, and Con has to be careful when she goes to the facility so that she won't be harassed. There's also bigotry in society against clones. And that bigotry leads to another element in the novel, some larger philosophical issues. Many people don't consider clones to be really human, and FitzSimmons uses this to raise the question of what it means to be a human. How should clones be treated? Are they human? Are they human but somehow less? There are also mentions of class issues and discussions of whether it's right to clone considering most people can't afford it. And there is a larger question. Just because a thing can be done, does that mean it should be done? The story is a thriller, so there are several narrow escapes, questions about who can be trusted, and some plot twists. There's also a strong sense of atmosphere, especially in the scenes that take place at the cloning facility. It's also worth mentioning that since Con is a musician, there are several references to rock music. Readers who enjoy the rock scene will enjoy this. This is speculative fiction, so the story involves some suspension of disbelief. That said, though, it doesn't take place in the far distant future, so there's plenty in the novel that will feel familiar. Constance is the story of a young woman who's trying to find her own killer. It takes place in a dystopian, not too distant future and explores some larger philosophical issues. This has been In the Spotlight. I'm Margot Kinberg. Thanks for watching.